Page 123. Are you still employed at the last firm listed on your resume? What do they want to hear? You probably know the adage that it's always easier to find a job when you already have one. Well, it's true, because many interviewers believe that an employed person is somehow better than an unemployed one, even if the latter is more qualified. Being laid off is perceived by many interviewers as a sign of weakness. I even heard one experienced executive recruiter say, "Oh, if she was laid off, there must be something wrong with her. Companies don't ever let really good employees go." Would that it were true. But the fact is that massive layoffs can and do still occur. And many hardworking, loyal individuals who contributed greatly to their companies, and could be significant assets to a new one, have to admit they've been laid off. Personally, I am firmly convinced that there is no shame in this status and give a laid-off candidate the same consideration I do anyone else. I would not assume all interviewers are as enlightened. What if you were fired? Come clean quickly and smoothly turn this potential negative into a positive. Let's consider the case of Nick. A hotel sales manager, he was unfortunate enough to work for a petty tyrant who made a practice of taking Nick and his co-workers to task often, publicly and mercilessly. One day, Nick finally had it. He blew up at his boss, and was fired on the spot. Later on, he was asked about his employment status in an interview for another hotel sales job. He answered bluntly,
"I was fired."
When the stunned interviewer asked to hear more, Nick explained,
"My boss and I just didn't get along, and I have to admit I didn't handle the situation well. I certainly understand the importance of call reports and log sheets and other sales management controls. I guess I interpreted some of Joe's quick demands for these things as a lack of trust, and I shouldn't have. I've learned my lesson."
Green light. Talk less about why you were terminated and more about what you've learned from the experience. If you were laid off, or, as the British quaintly say, made redundant, you shouldn't be expected to apologize. You might say something like,
"Yes, I was one of 16 people laid off when sales took a slide."
This is an easy way out, presuming you were not a member of the sales department. Red light. As always, the introduction of any negative.
"Yeah, I was fired because I'm not as young as I used to be. Wait until they see what my old lawyer has to say about age discrimination. I'll make them pay through the nose."
Being fired for cause, especially if you refuse to admit responsibility or to detail what steps have been taken to correct the problem. Celebrity felons like Mike Tyson may get 2 or 3 or umpteen chances to make millions even after serving time, but most interviewers get a bit antsy about hiring someone who was fired for stealing, drinking on the job, hitting his or her boss, or some equally charming offense. Page 124.